Peace, peace, peace. Mind Ascension here. Peace to my 6 to 22 strand, 7 to 9 ether. You melanin, selenium-based black gods of this planet. It's been a little while since I talked to y'all, since I did a video for the channel. I'm here with my brother. As usual, we do our backyard building. You know, my brother came to me. He don't like being on camera, so he's off camera. But every now and then, he comes into some cycles where he come through, he pull me out, and we start exchanging of the minds. We start activating that subconscious and doing what we do. So, my brother, whatever's on your mind, let's start, let's spark it, let's get it rolling, let's get it going.
The key word I want to get into is misconceptions.
Okay.
There's a lot of misconceptions going on, you know what I mean? It look like one thing, but it's not, you know what I mean? Like shady stuff, you know what I mean?
Well, what do you mean by that? Give me an example so I can work off that. When you say misconceptions,
people, they believe something that's not true, or you could be fooled by.
Okay, you're talking a combination of miseducation and
illusion.
Beliefs and egos that's setting the foundation of what you believe, what you follow, what you participate in, what your behavior is, your habits, your attributes, your likes, your dislikes, and depending on how society judges those and creates the standards that make you either reject them, deny them, or pretend that you do not feel them. And these so-called misconceptions, misunderstandings, and miseducations is actually what fuels the reality of the world that we live in, based off the illusion that we carry for ourselves. Meaning, one major misconception and illusion is the illusion of equality. And I'm always talking about that. The fact that we have even the slightest inkling, and I question anybody's intelligence that's living in this current world, to think for the second that we are equal as men and women, or equal as male or female by anatomy, biology, and neurological science, or equal as black man, black woman, or black people and white people, or black people in any other race, because no matter what, we are always at the bottom based on not just historical reference and not just present facts, but always on the bottom based through the caste systems that have been built to put black at the bottom and put white at the top. So therefore, anything that's between black and white is always striving to be white. So that's why Spanish people rather be white than black. That's why any other people rather be white than black. That's why even the darkest Indians on the planet, all of that Bollywood and all that shit, they'll still try to portray as if there's some bleach white Indian somewhere, and there's not. Just like the Asians, they still not try to portray these geishas, these women who are supposed to be the epitome of femininity, the epitome of beauty. But how do they dress them? How do they represent them? What symbolism do they put on those women to project what the purity of them is? Pure whiteness. They put them in pure white makeup till you can't get no whiter.
Smoking mirrors, right?
You don't gotta. Yeah, it's when we're dealing with the projection of what we perceive based on how we're trained and conditioned to perceive those things, we actually become more prone to results that lead to disappointment, to results that lead to pain, trauma, because you are looking for something that is not necessarily conducive to your nature as the true human being, or as the feminine woman, or as the masculine man. So while you're trying to live out the misunderstanding, miseducation, and misconceptions of this current society that's been projected and pushed on you on what you should be, shouldn't be, should say, shouldn't do, can't do, and then turn around and tell you land of the free, you're missing misconceptions with contradictions, causing confusion and causing decisions and choices that cause further destruction. So I don't know if that kind of answer, what you're talking about, or what you are interested in there, brother. But our reality is based on the perception that we're given. We're given a perception based on a source that has a European mindset, that has a Roman Greek mindset. That source has created the illusion that we live in, and if we step out of it, then we are demonized, ostracized, or criminalized or completely eradicated and disappear. But the fact of the matter is, if we are going to choose to follow anything, we have to follow the most indigenous mindset and the closest thing to the source of where we come from as the true human, original man or origin or being of this planet. And when we look back at the historical evidence, we notice that our women didn't act the way they do today. Our men didn't act the way they do today. We didn't have the same concepts we do today as we did yesterday about family. Every child was your child, so on and so forth. Every woman was your mother or your sister, so on and so forth. This eradicated disrespect, this eradicated rudeness, this eradicated so-called rape and so-called abuse of women, because if you look at any woman on the street as if she's your sister or your mother, you automatically have an obligation to respect her. If I look at any man on the street as if he's myself and as if he's my brother, I automatically have an obligation to create a bond and create an alliance with that man. But if I look at that man as an enemy to me, then there you go. Now I got shootouts. Now I got gangs. Now I got gang banging. Now I'm treating my woman with such a form of disrespect, but yet that doesn't stop nature's biological design of making the sperm activate the egg, which leads to that baby. But unfortunately, I started off our relationship in an abusive, disrespectful manner. So therefore, that baby can't thrive and grow with two balanced parents. And no matter whose fault it is, whether it's the man's, the woman's, or whatever, is all irrelevant, because one side will destroy both. So whether I have man out of order or whether I have woman out of order, it doesn't matter, because once one is out of order, both are out of order, But anyway, give me something else, brother.
Yeah, man. That's a good key, man. It's like each for themselves. You know what I mean? Like,
where is not, we do not come from that. We do not come from survival of the fittest. We do not come from Darwinism. We do not come from all of this shit. So what they call it, Darwinism, selective breeding, or selective. This is not our mindset. That's not our indigenous thinking. That's not our original concepts. Those are not the concepts that built kingdoms into empires, into global civilizations. That's survival of the fittest bullshit. So we have to get out of that mindset, because all we're doing is regurgitating European shit over and over and over and over. One man for himself, survival of the fittest, worry about yourself, don't worry about others, blah, blah, blah. All of this is European clan mindset, cave clan shit. When you're in a state of survival, you can't trust anybody, not even your brother. You see? So you can't be your brother's keeper, because your brother is trying to keep something else of yours. You see? So this is the mindset that breeds, and then it's brought to us, and then we copy it and regurgitate it and live it out only amongst each other, but not amongst any other race. Because we'll trust the Asian, we'll trust the Mexican, we'll trust the Arab, we'll trust the Jew, but we won't trust the nigga.
wow.
So, whatever.
Man. So on that note, you just want to tell them, start, each one teach one, each one, reach one. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, man.
Every conversation should be a classroom. If when you talk to somebody, you're not creating a dialogue of exchange of information, exchange of energy, or even exchange of emotion, because not everything has to sound smart, and not everything has to be smart. What is that? Not everything has to sound smart, and not everything has to be smart. When you know you're having a balanced exchange is when you walk away with something, or you leave with a new idea. Whatever it is, you don't leave more empty than when you came. That's a true dialogue. That's a true exchange. So when we do choose to engage in conversation with our own people, we have to make sure it's of some type of substance. And once again, this doesn't mean trying to walk around waking everybody up. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about, if y'all going to talk about something stupid, find the science in it. That's what I'm saying. Right. If you're going to talk about something insignificant, make it significant. Right. Somehow, some way. And there's always a way to do that if you're thinking outside of the thought process that you've been given due to your conditioning.
Right.
Because everything in existence has a form of polarity, so you can always look for the opposite side of that subject. Perfect example, I was doing a consultation the other day, and I was explaining to the brother that ego has polarity like everything else. People truly believe that ego means ego means arrogant, ego means I think I'm the best, ego means, I'm just an arrogant, just one directional tunnel vision dude. But that's not true. That's not the only type of ego there is. There's also the ego of the person that does the right thing because other people are watching. There's also the ego of the person that's polite within the presence of somebody that has authority. That's the ego. All of that is ego. When you pick up that dollar bill after somebody dropped it, and then you look around to see who's watching you before you put it in your pocket, and when you see somebody looking at you, and then immediately you go, "Excuse me, sir, you dropped this money. That's ego. Because you did not make that choice based off your own pure morale and your own pure consciousness and not needing that person's money. You did what you did based off the fact of not wanting to look like a thief.
So what would you call a natural reflex? What would be the opposite of ego? Natural reflex or instincts?
That's a good question. The opposite of ego. The opposite of ego, honestly, is really a few things. To me, the opposite of ego is empathy. Opposite of ego is empathy. What's another? I know what I want to say. I'm just thinking of the exact word. Empathy is one. Damn.
The natural way, right?
Yes. What they call that, a conscience, having a conscience. See, because your ego talks to you to protect itself.
Yes. Make
See?
yourself look good.
Your ego wants to, that's all your ego is here to do, is protect itself. It wants to keep itself alive. It wants to survive. It doesn't want you getting into anything that might allow you to smother it. It don't want you to learn anything new that might allow you to displace your ego. So your ego always wants to protect you from anything of any information that can enlighten you beyond the ego's surface level. So that's why a lot of people will reject things as soon as they hear them. A lot of people will unfollow me immediately as soon as they see one little post. Out of the 8,000 posts I got, if they see one little post that does not make them feel good, they will unfollow me immediately. That's the ego. Right. Because the ego smells the slightest hint of their existence being threatened. So then they'll immediately eradicate that threat or make it invisible.
Yeah, like when you touched on the magic thing, I ain't gonna lie, I got a little uncomfortable because like you said, a lot of people are not used to hearing messages.
I understand.
Like that.
I completely understand. But I want to get back to what you said because that was an excellent question.
Yeah.
Now, the opposite of that would be either your consciousness or empathy, because your consciousness drills on you until you do something for somebody else. Your consciousness go, motherfucker, you know you was wrong. Motherfucker, you really going to sit here and pretend like that wasn't there? Motherfucker, you better go get up and do that. Really? You going to act like that's not? You really going to live with yourself? You really going to and then bam, you get up and then you do the quote unquote right thing. But to be honest with you, once again, we're still kind of slightly in the ego realm if we're still talking about morality, because now we're talking about the polarity of ego. But I do truly believe that empathy, by the technical term, and as my brother asked the question, which was an excellent question, empathy is the polarity of ego. Because empathy is not based off your society. Empathy is literally based off the combination of your heart chakra and your human existence, and having the combination of the emotional field that exists within you as a human, which is there for a reason, because once again, as I've explained numerous times, you are here to merge the physical with the spiritual. The physical is your pleasure sensors, your sensations, your climaxes, your orgasms, blah, blah, blah. Those are your physicals. Your spirituals are your emotions, your deep feeling, your visions, your psychic, your intuition. That's the spiritual side. When you merge them together, now you truly become God on this plane. And this is why they say when man and woman creates that true union, which is intercourse or sex, that's when they truly are one being and truly are God. Because remember, what you refer to as God, or as I like to say, as the ancients used to say, the all has no gender. And if you want to say it has a gender, then you have to call it androgynous. Or on a physical plane, you have to call it hermaphrodite. And I don't know how many people want to, associate themselves with a hermaphrodite. But regardless, everything has a polarity. So yes, Excellent question, brother. The polarity, the ego, in my opinion, y'all, my personal opinion, y'all know I rarely say that too, by the way, but I have to say my personal opinion because as I'm thinking about it, I can't give you a scientific expression. I can't necessarily give you a direct logical source, but through my opinion and through the combination of my observation, my experience, and being a human on this level, but also being a human with the with the potential of a God's eye to look outside of myself at myself from a God point of view to a human. Empathy is the polarity of ego. So excellent question, brother. I love questions like that.
Definitely.
So yeah, I'm a expand on that. I think that would make a great post. I think I'm gonna make a post for my page about empathy and ego, Scott. I think that would be a great lesson. But let's continue, brother. Come on, give me something else. Let's go.
Yo,
Another 15
I was
minutes.
talking with a sister, man. She was like, a lot of people say money is the root of all evil. How you feel about that, bro?
I mean, at the end of the day, to me, this is an arbitrary question. Money doesn't even exist. Money is based on the value that a human places on it, based on the society giving you the perception that money means shit. And money doesn't mean anything. There was a great, I don't know, y'all that are watching my channel right now, but on my page, I have put up in my stories, like Eli Africa breaking this concept down because nothing matters to anybody until we project value into it. The reason you think money means something is because your government, your world governments have projected value into something that has no value and that does not exist. Its existence and its value is based on your attention and your participation in the illusion of its value. So as soon as you start bartering again, soon as you start growing shit again, soon as you throw your flat screen out the window, soon as you disconnect your Wi-Fi, soon as you stop caring about how fly you are and tap into your creativity, ladies, tap into your creativity and start making your own gowns and clothes out of either used fabrics or either new fabrics or either getting creative with the things you already have that you discard as garbage or useless. That will shut down all this shit. And then your dollar will fluctuate just like it always does. If money truly had a value that was calculated and placed on by itself and not deemed value by the people, then you wouldn't be able to jump around from country to country and your money fluctuates in currency. If that wasn't true what I just said, I wouldn't be able to come from America with an American dollar and then go somewhere else and that American dollar changes its value. Why does that American dollar changes its value in one section of the planet to another section of the planet? Why? Why? You see what I'm saying? Because that value is based on the illusion of the region that you're in. And the illusion of the region that you're in says that so-and-so 100 American is so-and-so 1,000 Jamaican. You know? So, once again, that's an arbitrary question. Money is an illusion. There is no such thing as money. Your currency is a form of energy that can be utilized by you if you choose, but its only existence is based on your participation and your attention that makes it a reality for yourself. That's why I will never kill for money. I will never fucking try to break my back for money. I'd rather break my back for the care of my mother, for the care of my African mothers, for the care of my polarity, my queen, so on and so forth. I'd rather kill for my queen, for my polarity, my family, and so on and so forth. But for this dollar, I will never ever do anything for this dollar that has any slightest possibility to jeopardize my manhood, my livelihood, or anybody in my life that I care about in the slightest.
What you feel like? Do you think it could have dictatorship over you, like the money?
Money, of course, because that's what money's supposed to do. Money is supposed to set the standards and the boundaries to what you are as a citizen or as a success. Because if you don't have a certain amount of money, then I deem you unsuccessful. But by whose standards? Because if I create my own standards of success, then your standards of success become obsolete to me. Therefore, I don't have to live up by them. Therefore, I'm never disappointing myself. Therefore, I don't become depressed and fucking kill myself.
Right.
So when my definition of success becomes my health, becomes my strength, becomes the women or woman by my side, becomes the shelter over my head, becomes the thinking in my mind and my thoughts, then I am truly successful, and everything that you tell me what success is means nothing. It has no value, and therefore has no power to control me or dictate my actions. Can't sell me nothing.
Yeah.
Can't bribe me, nothing. And that goes, by the way, to other things. That goes for sex, for men out there that are so weak within their alignment. Because, yes, man is the lower self to the higher self, which is the woman. Yes, man is the root to the crown. But the point of being the root is that you're the activator of the rest of the chakras. So don't ever think being the root chakra makes you the bottom or makes you the lowest. Being the root chakra is like the ignition to the explosion that reaches the crown. So you can't reach the crown without going through the root. So you are very powerful as a man, and I stand by that shit. I am the lower to the higher. My higher self is my woman, my feminine woman to be exact. My crown chakra is my woman, my feminine woman to be exact. But I am the fire that activates the alignment that reaches the crown. So she don't know she's a crown until I light her ass up.
Right. You know what I mean? Since we talking about women, one of the things I want to talk about is like, I was talking about a brother, like, is it okay if men have multiple women? Is it okay if women have multiple men?
Now, when we say okay, we're basically going right back into social standards, society preferences, perceptions, misconceptions, blah, blah, blah. I like to deal with science. I like to deal with history, biology, so on and so forth. Number one, we're not fucking equal. And the fact that we're not equal leads to the absolute factual conclusion that the actions that you try to imitate that I do, you will never have the same results. Sorry. Because guess what? While you're laying with 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 men trying to imitate me as a man who actually is the seed planter, the activator, and the outside to the inside, you are imitating someone who is lower than you, therefore having to lower yourself to maintain that frequency of action and behavior, and therefore get trapped within it. And next thing you know, you're 9 months pregnant, not knowing which one has activated that life inside of your body.
Wow.
Which is a result I never have to deal with as a man. You know why? Because I'm not a woman. So therefore, when I lay with 6 or 7 women, I never know what happens after I leave. I could have 6 or 7 babies, or I could have 1 or 2 babies, or I could have none babies. But at the end of the day, I still fulfill my function. I still fulfill my desire. I still got my instant gratification, and I'm along my way. And I don't absorb those women, and I'm not affected by those women in a certain level that women are affected by men, because she is magnetic by nature. She can't help that. And on a biological scientific standard, she absorbs the DNA, the essence, and the biological perspective of every man that she lays with. Now, unless you are laying with men wrapped up in plastic, I don't know how y'all doing whatever y'all do, but if you tongue kissing a man and you absorbing his saliva, if you sucking a man and you absorbing his pre-cum or his semen, if you having sex with a man and he has pre-cum and he has semen inside of your vagina, you have officially absorbed that man's DNA. You have officially made that man a part of your actual body and your system, and you have actually the potential to store that man's DNA into your brain and actually taking on the attributes and behavior and mannerisms of that man's DNA or that man's behavior or that man's actual bloodline. And this is why sometimes women will find themselves having a certain taste for a certain food or snack that they never had before. Women will find themselves having a certain taste for a certain type of female that they never desired before. They're like, well, what's crazy? I never thought of a woman like that, but for some strange reason, now I'm looking at women like this. Wait a second, my ex used to love women like that. You are absorbing that man every time you lay with him. That's why, by historical fact and by scientific fact, women did not lay with more than 4 different men of different DNA types. Because once you go beyond 4 different DNA types, you risk the potential of distorting your own DNA structure. And this is why sometimes when y'all have children, the child will have attributes and have certain features that come from a man that you laid with at some point in your life, or even worse, will come from a Neanderthal white man that you laid when you was in your phase talking about fuck black men. And now you got white Neanderthal DNA swimming all around in your body. And when you get pregnant by that future black man, that recessive DNA has the potential to lay dormant within your child.
Wow.
It's called microchirmism. So anytime you absorb semen, anytime you absorb DNA of that man, I'm not saying stop or whatever. All I'm saying is just pick quality men. That's all I'm saying, ladies. Pick a man that has some type of sense. He don't got to be a genius. Pick a man that has some type of means to provide. He don't got to be a rich man. Pick a man that has some type of capability. He don't got to be Superman, but look for the potential, the capability, and the intention in a man before you just give your body to him. You're not a man. You don't walk around and just stick your dick in things and walk away. You're not a man. You're an absorber. You have to open your legs to a man. You have to open yourself to a man. Men don't have to open themselves to a woman. All they do is project and shoot. They're shocking. They're one directional. They're fire. They're electricity. Woman is magnetism. You cannot move like me. You can never move like me and get the same results. Stop saying that dumb shit. Why you men get to do it and y'all are the man, and then when I can do it, because you're not a man. And because as I'm lower than you on the scale of energy and polarity, guess what? What makes me more powerful, what makes me more admirable is that I got women.
And our sex drive is different too.
Yes. And also, if you flip it, what makes you less desirable is the more niggas you lay with. You know why? Because you're absorbing your lower self. You're supposed to be absorbing your higher self. Now, this has nothing to do with how much sex you have. This has nothing to do with the type of sex you have. Because you can have sex every single day, all day long, for 10 years straight, and still be more pure than the woman that has sex with one different man every year. So before some of y'all jump out the window, this does not mean you cannot be sexual. That's not what I'm saying. This does not mean you cannot have a lot of sex. That's not what I'm saying. What this means is you cannot absorb numerous different types of male DNA that's not related. That's why if you study what's called polyandry, and I don't want to make this video about that because I already broke this shit down into the depths on polyandry video that I made. But if you want to practice polyandry, traditionally, by your indigenous culture and by actual science, your multiple husbands had to be blood related. Look it up. Do your own study. Polygyny has nothing to do with us being related to our wives. Has nothing to do with us being related to anybody. Because the man is the tool for the world. The woman is the sustainer of the world. There is a big difference. You are not here to be a tool. Why? How dare you as a woman complain about being used by men, but you don't understand that when you imitate male actions, you're here to be used. Because a man is here to be used. Whether you're using him for dick, whether you're using him for money, whether you're using him for labor, whether you're using him for protection, a man is here to be used. So when you put yourself in a place of a man by your own tactics and behavior, and then turn around and say, why did they use me like that? Because you playing a nigga. And after I'm done with you, I'm going to toss you to the side. That's why I don't get mad personally when I'm in my DM, when I'm helping people out, when people are asking me questions that they're not getting answers from any other place, and I don't receive no thanks, no gratitude. I don't get no love offering, no reciprocation, no nothing. I don't get mad at that. You know why? Because I embraced my nature and function as a man a long time ago. Even though everybody keep telling me people need to pay, everybody keep telling me I need to be more strict, everybody keep telling me I can't keep giving out free information, blah, blah, blah. But at the end of the day, I know my purpose and I know what my function is as a man and by my nature. So therefore, I embrace being utilized like the tool that I am. And I take great pride in being a divine multi-purpose tool, not just a regular hammer. Because I am a compass, I am a shield, I am a sword, I am the blueprint. I'm the alignment, I am the direction. So I take pride in that. And when I'm utilized is when I feel the best. Because when I'm utilized is when I'm brought value and purpose. But as soon as they turned y'all and made y'all, I don't need no man. Guess what? It made men obsolete. And guess what the second best thing to making a man obsolete? Being a faggot. Acting like a female. So now that you made my function as a man obsolete, now I have embraced my dysfunction as needing you more than you need me. Now you got a big ass son living in your house that you're fucking. But I didn't even want to try to make it like that. But you brought up that topic right there. We got a couple minutes left. I know this thing gonna shut down on me. I don't really want to make too long of a video. But anything else you want to add, or you want to break down, or you want me to embellish, or whatever the case may be?
Nah, not really, man. I just want to say, man, Keep seeking the truth, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's very important that we lose every form of regulation, boundary, and standard that does not take away our lives. I know some humans are dumb enough to hear when I say things like that to think that means run into traffic, throw a baby out the window, kick an old lady down the stairs. You know, some of y'all humans are really just really retarded. So when you hear me say no limitations or get out of your human shit, you think that means, I don't know, walking around pretending you're a hyena or something. I don't fucking know. But the point I'm making is losing all your boundaries allows you to receive everything. I don't know shit, and I remind myself I don't know shit, but the shit I do know is based off me not creating any boundary based off my ego, my preference, my belief, my mannerism, my upbringing, being American, being a black man, being anything. Because I take all information in submission. What do I mean by that? I submit to intelligence, knowledge, and information. I am their bitch. Yes. And because I submit to intelligence, knowledge, and information, guess what? I run that shit. Because submission is true power. Because it's the submissive that gives purpose to the dominant. It's the subatomic particles that give birth to all the elements. So for y'all women out there that think submission is about weakness and think submission is some type of disrespect to who you are, meanwhile, it's broken down in every indigenous culture and every hermetic or esoteric expression of polarity and complements as submissive, dominant, feminine, masculine. Nobody made this shit up. This is universal laws. But you're forgetting that the sub comes before the dom. You're forgetting that the submissive is the receiver in the relationship, which means she gets everything. You're not understanding this. The submissive takes the responsibility away from herself and gives it to the man and says, you know what? That wasn't my fault. That was your fault because you the man. Oh, you know what? That wasn't my fault. That was your fault because you the man. Oh, you know what? That's what. Y'all don't remember this? Y'all don't remember grandmamas and people doing shit like that? That ain't my job. You the man. Now y'all do it, but you only do it in very convenient circumstances, and it don't work like that. Because just because you're multi-directional doesn't mean I am. Because I am one-directional. I'm either this way or that way. I can't be both ways at the same time. This is why man is not bisexual. And this is why man is not bipolar. Because he's one-directional. So that the very second I decide to do some shit I'm not supposed to do, I'm that forever. And I can't get out of that. But you could get drunk in college and do some shit, and you not that, because you just had one night. I can't have one night of faggotry and wake up the next day and be straight. I can't. It's not going to happen as a man. But you can have one night of lesbianism and wake up the next day and get married and live the rest of your life happily ever after with a straight man. Let's cut the bullshit. We are not the same, never been the same, never will be the same. And it's time that we embrace that. It's time we stop rejecting that and actually embrace it.